The film is divided into three parts, starting with a prelude. We see a scene from 1857 where a Danish ship, Farthermore Nast, is stuck in the ice while heading toward the North Pole. The captain insists on freeing the ship, but the tired, starving crew wants to return home. That night, they hear an explosion and spot a fire. The captain and his men investigate and find a man named Victor, severely injured, with his sled dogs dead. They bring him aboard, armed and alert, assuming some monster attacked him. Suddenly, a large monster-like figure appears and instantly attacks the crew. Bullets don't affect him, and he shouts that he wants Victor. He climbs onto the ship, attacking anyone in his way. The captain fires a special 4-barrel gun, knocking the monster off the ship. Even then, the creature's strength shakes the entire vessel. Finally, the captain fires at the ice beside the creatures, breaking it and falling into the water below. The captain asks Victor who the creature is, and Victor says he created it. The monster can't die and has already killed 6 of the captain's men. Confused and horrified, the captain listens as Victor begins his story. This starts part 1. V is Victor Steele. Victor Frankenstein was born into a wealthy family. His father, a baron and a skilled surgeon, loved neither Victor nor his wife. He married Victor's mother only for financial gain to keep his baron title. Strict and harsh, he taught Victor biology and surgery from childhood, and beat him for even small mistakes. Victor often saw his parents fight, and he was very close to his mother. When his mother went into labor, Victor's father handled the delivery. The baby survived, but Victor's mother didn't. The tragedy deeply affected Victor's mental state. The child was named William, Victor's younger brother. As William grew, their father adored him, making Victor feel unwanted. One day, during a lesson, Victor accused his father of letting his mother die. His father insisted he did everything he could. Victor responds that if that was true, then he failed, and declares he will one day conquer death and surpass his father's knowledge. That night, Victor dreams of a dark angel telling him he will control life and death. But the family's future only worsens. 2 rebellions break out under their rule. Their plantation burns, and they lose everything except their estate. During this time, Victor's father also passes away. William leaves Vienna with one side of the family. Meanwhile, Victor goes to London and then Edinburgh, studying human biology for years and pushing its limits. In 1855, 2 years before current events, Victor gives a seminar at the Royal College of Medicine's Disciplinary Tribunal. There, he performs a live experiment, using his technique to restore usable parts from corpses and applying electrical impulses to bring a dead body back to life. The half-dead subject even catches and releases a ball on command, shocking the audience. Victor claims that while we aren't born by choice, we can conquer death. The elders on the tribunal hate this, saying only God gives and takes life, so Victor's work is blasphemous. But one man shows great interest, Heinrich Harlander. Because of the elders' opposition, Victor removes the electrical needle from the subject, letting it die again. As Victor leaves, Heinrich approaches him, introducing himself, and explaining that his niece Elizabeth is engaged to Victor's brother, William. Everyone is gathering soon, so they'll be family. He also praises William's business success. But Heinrich didn't come because of William. He wants to fund Victor's project. He wants Victor to create a living human from dead body parts and defeat death. Heinrich is wealthy from owning an ammunition factory. After failing as an army doctor, Victor agrees, and a few days later meets him at Heinrich's home. Heinrich shows him the 5th Evelyn table, one of only 5. These 17th-century anatomical boards were made from preserved human nerves, arteries, and veins glued to wooden panels to teach anatomy. They were created in Italy and brought to England by John Evelyn, who renamed them after himself. Victor is thrilled to see the 5th table. Elizabeth then arrives with William, and Victor is instantly drawn to her. At lunch, Elizabeth and Victor argue because she dislikes his ideas about resurrecting the dead. The scene also shows how Victor always centers himself, something William has long resented. Heinrich gives Victor a large villa and tower for his experiments and promises unlimited funds. Victor just needs to succeed. Victor asks for massive batteries, pure silver lightning conductors that telescope downward, and ice to preserve bodies. Heinrich agrees. We then see Victor choosing samples from publicly hanged bodies and overseeing the construction of his setup, determined to avoid any mistake. During all this, Victor tries to get close to Elizabeth, stalking her, dancing with her, but she doesn't return the interest. She prefers natural life, especially insects, so Victor pretends to care about butterflies too. At a party, Heinrich notices Victor's interest in Elizabeth and snaps at him, saying he's neglecting his work. He gives Victor an ultimatum. He has 7 days to finish the project or lose funding. Victor gets back to work immediately, but he still can't figure out where to place the pins for the electrical impulses. Just then, Elizabeth visits Victor in the tower and gives him a butterfly. Victor confesses his feelings, and though she listens kindly, she rejects him. Not because of William, but simply because she isn't interested in Victor romantically. She's only curious about his work. After she leaves, Victor thinks about her words on nature's symmetry. Using that idea, he inserts the electrical pins symmetrically, and his small experiment works. A corpse briefly comes to life. Now all he needs is a full body and a powerful electric charge. Victor collects perfect body parts from several dead people and builds a large, complete body. Henrik visits the tower and photographs everything. When lightning finally strikes, Victor goes to call Henrik, only to find him extremely ill from syphilis. With little time left, Henrik begs Victor to use him as the subject so he can live again. Victor refuses, knowing Henrik's diseased body can't be saved. Henrik becomes desperate and threatens to destroy the silver conductors. In the struggle, he falls, dies, and one conductor bends. Ignoring this, Victor sets up the equipment and runs the experiment. The lightning surges through the body, but nothing happens. Believing he failed, Victor falls asleep in despair. He dreams of the dark angel, and when he wakes, the body is alive, the creature. At first weak and slow, it learns only one word: Victor. Over time, it grows stronger and even heals instantly from cuts. But mentally, it remains childlike, frustrating Victor. He chains the creature in the basement and even begins beating it, though the creature clearly shows signs of learning and curiosity, like observing water flow and floating leaves. Meanwhile, Elizabeth worries after not hearing from her uncle, so she and William visit. Victor panics when Elizabeth arrives. While he distracts William with his notes, Elizabeth hears a voice from the basement. She discovers the creature and is mesmerized by him. The creature is drawn to her as well. Noticing his scars and fresh wounds, Elizabeth realizes Victor has been abusing him and confronts Victor, who insists the creature is not a real human. Victor insists the creature isn't human, only the result of his experiment, calling it mentally slow and a failed creation. Elizabeth ignores him and later speaks to the creature alone. After she leaves, the creature even begins saying her name. Victor warns her not to get close to it, but she pushes back and rejects Victor again, which enrages him. Victor hits the creature with a rod, but this time the creature grabs it and bends it, showing clear emotion. The next day, Victor secretly shows William Heinrich's body, claiming Heinrich died accidentally and that Elizabeth must not find out or it will cause scandal. He urges William to take her away immediately. William convinces Elizabeth to leave, and they depart by carriage. Furious, Victor returns to the creature and begins pouring fuel around the tower. He demands the creature say any word besides Victor to save itself. The creature says Elizabeth, which makes Victor even angrier, and he sets the tower on fire. Elizabeth, sensing Victor might harm the creature, turns the carriage around and races back. By then, the tower is fully ablaze. Victor suddenly regrets it and runs inside to save the creature, but an explosion hurls him out and severs his leg. This ends Victor's story. The captain is shocked, then hears noise outside. When he opens the door, the creature has arrived. Yes, it survived falling into the ice and fought its way to the ship. It attacks the captain, but Victor stops it. The captain calls it a beast, saying everything Victor said is true. The creature pauses and says the captain has only heard Victor's side. Now he must hear its own. This begins part 2. The creature's tale. When the tower burned, the creature freed itself and escaped by jumping down through a waterfall into deep water. Even after drowning, it awakens, still alive. It walks to a nearby area with scattered skeletons, puts on clothing, and eats wild berries. It even interacts with deer and other animals, but hunters arrive, kill the deer, and shoot the creature. Wounded, It flees and hides in the gear mills of a house. Its wounds heal quickly, and it shelters there from the cold. Eventually, the house's residents arrive, the same hunters, along with a woman, a child, and a blind old man. The old man teaches the child the alphabet, and from his hiding place, the creature also learns to read and speak. It grows fond of the family and secretly helps them at night, chopping wood, storing it, and even building a barn. The family thinks it's the spirit of the forest and leaves clothes for it. The creature wears them and keeps watching from the shadows. One day, wolves attack the house and the hunters drive them off. The creature realizes nature has its own cycle. Wolves kill sheep, humans kill wolves, and once something is seen as dangerous, it is always treated that way. After the attack, the family leaves for several days to hunt wolves, leaving the blind old man behind. When they're gone, the creature finally reveals itself to the old man, who cannot see him, and because of that, they become friends. The old man admits he suspected the creature was hiding in the gear mills. Their bond grows, and the creature learns to read well, spending peaceful time with him. The old man often pats his head, which the creature enjoys. When the creature mentions he remembers nothing except the name Victor, the old man urges him to visit the burned tower and learn the truth. There, the creature finds Victor's books, drawings, photos, and designs, records showing he was made from many different bodies. Now intelligent enough to understand, he realizes he doesn't even know what person he comes from, or if he's human at all. He also finds a letter with William's address. Now he knows where Victor is. Returning to the old man's home, he finds wolves attacking. He kills them, but they've fatally injured the old man. As the old man dies in his arms, the family arrives, mistakes the creature for a savage, and fires at him. Enraged, the creature kills one man and flees, but more bullets knock him unconscious. His wounds soon heal, and he continues on toward the address. The address leads to William's home on the day of William and Elizabeth's wedding. Victor, still alive, now uses a prosthetic leg and comes to congratulate Elizabeth. She slaps him, calling him twisted and blaming him for the creature's supposed death. Victor goes to his room and finds the creature waiting. He instantly sees the creature has become much smarter. The creature asks Victor to forget the past and create a female companion like him. Victor refuses, calling him a monster and saying he won't create another being who could reproduce and destroy the world. He calls the creature a failed experiment. In rage, the creature attacks him. Elizabeth, hearing the noise, rushes in and is thrilled to see the creature alive. They're both happy to see each other. Suddenly, Victor fires his gun, but the bullet hits Elizabeth. Everyone runs in, and William attacks the creature. With one move, the creature causes a severe head injury. Victor shouts that the creature killed Elizabeth. The others want to attack him, but fear stops them. The creature carries Elizabeth away to a cave. She dies in his arms, happy to see him one last time. She had loved him, and he couldn't save her. Meanwhile, William dies too, blaming Victor for everything. He says Victor has always been this way, obsessed, dangerous, and calls Victor the real monster before taking his last breath. Furious, Victor grabs a gun and hunts the creature. They meet in the snowy mountains, but the creature easily overpowers Victor. Instead of killing him, he injures him, promising to make him suffer slowly. Victor vows he won't stop until he destroys the creature. This begins a long chase. Victor hunting the creature never dying, and repeatedly injuring Victor. Their pursuit leads them to the North Pole, where Victor sets traps using guns and dynamite. It fails, since bullets don't harm the creature. In the struggle, the creature beats Victor badly and burns his tent. Then he detonates the dynamite in his own hand, saying, if it kills him, fine. If not, he'll come back to continue tormenting Victor. The blast doesn't kill him. The explosion is what drew the captain and his men earlier, and the blood they saw belonged to the creature, not Victor. So yes, this was Creature's story, which shocks the captain. The film then enters its final act. Victor finally apologizes to Creature, and Creature forgives him. Victor gently pats his head, something Creature always loved, and calls him his son, accepting him at last. He tells Creature, yes, you are my creation. You are like me. Both are heartbroken, but they find closure. Victor asks Creature to say his name one last time, and Creature repeats, Victor, Victor. just like before Victor's injuries catch up with him and he finally stops breathing. Heartbroken, Creature calls him his creator and began to leave. The captain orders his men not to attack the creature, steps off the ship himself. The ship breaks free from the ice, and the captain decides they'll return home. He realizes he had the same stubborn urge Victor had to keep moving forward at any cost. But seeing Victor's fate, he understands that blind obsession leads nowhere. So he turns the crew back. Creature walks into the sunlight, just as he did the first time, and the film ends. So, this was the story of the Frankenstein film, a fairly simple one. Looking at its main points, the biggest idea is that the real monster wasn't the creature, but Victor. His obsession with defeating death and controlling nature distanced him from humanity. Traumatized by his mother's death, he tried to become God, and in doing so, became monstrous himself. The creature, on the other hand, was like a child, innocent, curious, and seeking love. But after Victor rejected and killed him, he became vengeful. Ironically, the creature understood life and love, while Victor was consumed by ego and guilt. The message is clear. When humans try to play God, they lose their humanity.